Hi, welcome to An Abundance of Books. We're here today to talk about the dumbest book, the worst result of pen put to paper, The Last One by Will Dean. I'm going to be coming out strong with this, so here are all the disclaimers up front. If you like this book, I am not coming for you. While I was reading this book, I had to find time. It's quite long, but I read it really quickly. It was an interesting enough read. I couldn't see why someone would like it. The whole time I was enjoying myself, if confused, if hoping for a better ending. But this is going to be a full spoiler review of all of the ridiculousness that happens in this book and why it is dumb and bad. The story is about our main character, Kaz, who is going on a cruise with her boyfriend. It is from the UK to America, vaguely. They are having a lovely time. They have a nice big cabin. They go to sleep the first night and wake up and Kaz is the only person on board. That happens in like the first 20 pages. That's the entire synopsis. Great hook. Incredible. How could that even be possible? These are really distracting. About 10 pages later, you find out the synopsis is a lie. There is another person on board. You immediately find Daniel. And then you immediately find Franny right after that, and then Smith. So there are 4 of them actually trapped on this cruise ship. They can't change the direction of it. They can get into the bridge, but nothing that they try works. And they're also locked out of the food stores for whatever reason. The power goes out, the water goes out, so they have no food, they have no heat. They are trying to survive on this thing. Immediate problem, how did everybody else leave the ship? Of course, my immediate thought is they can't. This is purgatory or something like that. There has to be some magical explanation going on. And the characters pretty much say as much. They're like, even if we stopped, even if another boat pulled up, there's no way it could be this clean and organized and stuff. So we keep going, blah, 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 surviving, doing our best. They also find a bunch of dogs on board. There's like 12, I think, in the kennels, so they have to feed them. The fact that they don't eat dog food immediately is ridiculous. Like, they are starving. It is bad. They are having to keep a fire at the front of the ship. Like, it's bad pretty much immediately. But then what happens is the piano randomly starts playing in a corner of the ship, and there's a TV next to it. Something comes on the TV. It's just this woman's lips, and she says, "You're on TV." This is not the worst thing that could happen. There is definitely a world in which you could do this in an interesting way. This is not that way. So they say whoever is the last person left on the ship is gonna win $1 million or something. And they each have challenges that they need to do. So then they each do their challenge, which are like puzzle things or physical things. They have to rescue someone from the ocean. They have to climb to the top of a very tall thing. Cool, whatever. Over the course, one of the people, Daniel, dies, and one of them kills herself, Franny, in a very like out of nowhere, in the middle of something else thing. It's very strange. Till there is only Smith and Kaz left. A woman shows up out of nowhere. It is the lips from the TV. She says her name is Michelle. My contract was just to do a little bit for this show, but now they've told me I have to be out with you. Sure, whatever. Almost immediately a helicopter comes. She gets on it. Gone. And then we're back to only Kaz and Smith, and eventually they go into the water, hope to float. They both get rescued, and they're like, yeah, it was a reality TV show the whole time. Cool. You win? I don't actually remember if they talk about them winning anything. I think because Kaz is like traumatized and she's like, I just want to go home. So at the very end, she and her boyfriend Pete get on a plane to go home. She gets in the bathroom, comes back out. She's the only person on the plane. There is one thing I will say about this book. That ending is the stupidest ending I have ever heard. So stupid that it almost comes back around to being good again. Like, it's so stupid that I love it. The rest of it, absolute nonsense. So let's talk about all the ways the story falls apart. The first one is, of course, the concept of reality TV itself. They do a lot of explanation into how it is working. They're saying it's only on the dark web and you have to find it some way, but then also there are comment sections and it seems like the news is covering it, and it seems like just sort of a misunderstanding of how the dark web works, and if enough people know about it, it would just make its way onto the regular web at a certain point. The other problem is the four main characters. Two of them are actors. Franny and Daniel are both actors. They both die, but they were supposed to and were saved by crew. Whatever. My problem is Kaz is like 50. And Smith is also old and curmudgeon-y and like just kind of an asshole throughout the whole book. He wants to hoard resources for himself and stuff like that. Why would you build an entire reality TV show around two old, boring people? I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying a company or whoever, because we never find out who does this. There is no like face that is put to it at the end. They are just on TV. No one like is taking responsibility for it. Why would you build it around these two old people? Every reality TV show is about hot young people dating each other, and I don't see why this would be any different. The other major problem is how they got everyone off of the boat. Their explanation is that they parked somewhere overnight and they got everybody off, and they offered them like vouchers for another free cruise. That would not happen. There isn't any explanation even of like they drugged Kaz before she went to sleep so that she wouldn't wake up through all of the noise, because the characters in the book, they float that idea like pretty early on, like maybe we stopped and everyone just got off and we were missed. But like they talk about it and disprove it because it doesn't make any sense. And then that is the actual explanation? That's so stupid. I am all for suspending my disbelief, but this is the real crux of the issue. If a character in the book says that the thing is stupid, it's a bad idea. Don't do it. Did I comment that the plants were distracting, not realizing there's literally a light bulb above my head this whole time? That's great. There is also zero explanation as to why Kaz and Smith were the ones selected to be on this reality TV show. Kaz is with her boyfriend Pete. They specify they're on their 13th date, which is a weird choice and like implies they don't actually know each other very well, and he's very insistent that he like wants to go on this cruise, that he got it for a discount, whatever. So implying there's something up with Pete. Pete's involved in this some way. Kaz never suspects him. The thought does not enter her mind. And at the end, she joins up with Peter again and like still doesn't cross her mind. He's just like excited that it went well and that she's okay and stuff, but no indication that like maybe he helped orchestrate this whole thing. She doesn't dump him immediately. That doesn't make any sense. And the book seems completely incurious with answering these questions. It goes out of its way to answer a lot of questions, and yet these most fundamental ones are unexplored. And all of that is stupid and bad, but there's also an issue with the writing itself, not the plotting, but like the characterization, I guess. Kaz has internal dialogue the whole time, and she spends a majority of it thinking about her family, specifically about her dad, who was a gambling addict, and he stole from like a veterans fund and ruined their family reputation, stole money from his kids, like really cool stuff. And then her sister, who is a drug addict. There's a scene very early on where they're walking through the cruise and they see the casino, and she's like, I can't go into casinos. My dad, I have gambling trauma. Sure, great. Never goes anywhere. I cannot tell you how much of this book is covered talking about these two characters, and it never goes anywhere. We don't meet them. There's a video call with the sister at one point, but like it does not matter to the story. They could not be in the story at all and it would not change anything. And I kept assuming like this is a purgatory thing, she's paying for her crimes. Something about the dad and sister has to be important. We're spending so much time on it. And it's not. I cannot tell you how angry I was at that. That is just filler at that point. Not to mention this book is like 480 pages long. It does not need to be. If we just cut all of the dad's stuff, like we would be at a much more reasonable page count and our character would feel no less developed, because Kaz is like still sort of an empty shell. The only thing she's got going on is stuff related to her family and related to other people. She doesn't seem to have self-motivation for anything other than not dying randomly on a cruise ship. The thing that for me really summed up how bad this book was is in chapter 83, because there are like 130 chapters in this book. You think you'll never be stuck in a situation like this until you are. And like, no babe, I don't think I'm gonna get trapped on a boat by myself trying to survive because I'm on a secret dark web reality TV show. Like, that's nothing. What are you talking about? We're just saying things at this point. You never think it's gonna happen to you until it does. Like, no, that's not what that thing means. This book was a failure in pretty much every way. We're set on a cruise ship, but like we don't really take advantage of anything with the cruise ship. The casino, nothing comes of that. It's not like they have to go in for one of the challenges on the reality TV show relating to backstory or whatever. The power goes out so quickly that they like can't utilize anything on the boat and half of it has lost access to them. Oh, I also need to talk about that. I completely forgot. At the end, near the end, they finally make it into the theater room or whatever, the place where they do shows. And there's a pile of bodies, big pile of bodies, implying that it's everyone on the boat, that they all ended up in here and got murdered in some way. There are like rats around it, the dogs have found their way into it, and that's just nothing. That was just set dressing that they decided to do, and that they were also able to do completely silently while all of these people on the boat, well, not all of them, I guess only Kaz and Smith were paying attention, trying to find anything that they could. It's just too much. And again, I wouldn't have such a problem with it if the characters in the book didn't remark on how stupid it was. But the ending of her getting onto a plane, going to the bathroom, and then she's the only person on the plane is perfect. Like, that is the only ending I would accept from this book, where they're like, yeah, it's stupid, yeah, I've wasted your time for 400 pages, let's double down. Like, theoretically, in Kaz's story, it's not even half over because she's got to do this bullshit all again. How does that make sense for anything, for anyone? I'm trying to think of what the writing process was of this for Will Dean, if he had an idea, or if he was like, yeah, it'll be reality TV, I'll figure out the details later, and then just put like placeholder sentences and then never went back and changed those, or if this was something that made sense and slowly devolved into something different. Anyway, that's it for me. 1 star. Not an angry 1 star, but I can't, it's a 1 star. That ending would put it up to a 2, but like, what is it? But that's gonna be it for me. Did you read the last one? Did you love it? Do you want to tell me how stupid I am? I genuinely do want people to tell me why they love this, and if those things just like don't bother them. Did you not notice? Am I stupid and there was like a secret hidden thing that talked about how Pete was evil the whole time? Let me know. Comment down below. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye bye.